And in a past life, I used to work in healthcare financing and economics for corporations as well as governments. Years ago, I was advising a guy who ran one of the largest corporations in America and who had also been immortalized in the business press as the meanest boss in America. This person, who shall remain nameless, called together a meeting of his senior staffers and me to talk about the employee health benefits plan, and he kept raising one complicated idea after another. Nobody really knew what he was driving at, but he was so rough on his employees, even his executives, that they were all afraid to ask him what he was driving at. So that task fell to me, and I said, you know, exactly what are you trying to do for your employees here with all these ideas? And his answer to me is one I'll never forget. He said, I want to give them less and make them think it's more. And that, to me, in a nutshell, is what's wrong with the U.S. healthcare system. It has been put together by people who want to give us less and make us think it's more. Now, those people may be the health insurance companies who have an economic incentive to deny care, not to provide care. It may be the employers who are self-funding, as this guy was, their insurance plans, who also have an incentive to give us less and make us think it's more. It may even be the government, even a liberal-backed plan like the Affordable Care Act does not want to give too much because they're afraid of political opposition. They really don't believe in Medicare for all. They maybe, there have been a lot of studies showing that Democratic politicians have been getting a lot of money from the health lobby, so maybe they, you know, they definitely don't want to alienate their contributors. In fact, I encourage you to read a recent piece on The Intercept about Democrats getting money from the healthcare lobby. So there are a lot of people out there that want to give us less and make us think it's more. So when a report came out from the right-wing Mercatus Center, that's a group that's funded by the Koch brothers, you know them, the dirty fuel tycoons who are trying to buy our democracy with their money, with alarming success, and ruining our economy and trying to dismantle our government, certainly trying to stop our government from doing more good things for people, which is why they hate Medicare for all. So when that report came out, one of the first things I thought of was that CEO I'd met with so many years ago. I read the report, and I read it with my old hat on of healthcare financing and so on, and I realized that this guy the guy who wrote it, stacked the deck against Medicare for all. But even so, he couldn't avoid, it was meant to scare us, okay? He said it's going to cost the federal government $32 trillion over 10 years. But he let slip that without Medicare for all, people would pay $34 trillion over 10 years, meaning it would be a $2 trillion savings to have Medicare for all. And by the way, people will get a lot more health care. In fact, there has been a study showing that without Medicare for all, 320,000 people will die in this country over a 10-year period. So think about it for a second. Even by the right-wingers' standards, we can save $2 trillion a year. I think it's a lot more. Save 320,000 lives, keep a lot of other people healthy, prevent a lot of other disabilities, keep a lot of other people productive and happy. So why aren't we doing it, especially when we consider that Medicare for all would not only include the health care coverage that people get, for example, out of their employer today or even out of Medicare, but would also be designed to eliminate all the co-payments and deductibles that are destroying the pocketbooks of so many American families and keeping people from getting the care they need. When you consider the fact that it would also cover vision care and dental care, which most people don't have nowadays, there's really no reason not to do it. When you think about the financial cost of not having Medicare for all, we just can't afford to do without it. And when you think about the human cost of not having Medicare for all, when you think about the deaths, when you think about the lives shortened, when you think about the disability, the illness, the misery, the stress, the pain, and the financial suffering, we absolutely must have Medicare for all.